Let's talk about your new album. You got a band called Blackbird Angels. The core of the group is you and Todd Kearns. Todd, of course, plays with Slash. Tell us a little bit about. First of all, let's start with the album title. How do you?
Solsorte.
What is it?
It's hard to pronounce, but Americans or English speaking people should just call it Solsorte.
Solsorte. Okay. What is the
Solsorte.
meaning of that?
Blackbirds
Oh, okay, great.
in Danish.
Okay. Okay. So it's
Yes.
all starting to tie together now. So you have this album, and if I'm not mistaken, the album cover is based on a photograph that you took. Is that right?
Yeah, it's so weird. The label was just starting to like throw around ideas for logos and album art and stuff like that. And Fitz and I were out front, like he was playing. He has this little mini golf thing that he has out in the front yard, and I'm standing out there, and I looked up at the chimney, and there was two blackbirds just sitting up there, and I'm like, "Ooh, I got to take a picture of those guys." And as soon as I turned around with the camera, they flew away. But I was just like, and I took that fucking picture, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, oh,
It's awesome.
Yeah, thanks, man. That's probably the most artistic thing I've ever done in my life.
Right. It's like an art department couldn't come up with that. It's just
No way.
So coincidental, and it's awesome. That bird just looks, kind of menacing and kind of beautiful all at the same time, and it's black, so it's almost a silhouette. And then you do have just enough of the chimney in the picture that it looks like he's flying out of like a church steeple or something.
Yeah, it's really weird. And there's another one behind it that people don't notice because that bird is so predominant. There's another one right behind it doing the same thing.
Oh yeah, didn't know
yeah,
that.
so there's like it's like the hidden backward masking on some satanic album. Oh, there's another blackbird.
The evil Easter egg.
Right. It's the evil Easter bird.
So it represents you and Todd. There's
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's us guys, but of course, as anybody that knows me personally, Adam Hamilton is the glue for every record I do.
Yes.
He's the Mr. Peabody and with the machine and the drums and going, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
So I always got to mention him because I can't make these records without him.
Absolutely. I was going to mention him because he seems to be rock and roll's secret weapon.
I have a secret to expose that involves Adam Hamilton as well. There is a project that I've been dabbling in with Paul Lydell and a guy named Joe, and I can't say his last name for shit. I'm going to mess it up. Cecilia, maybe. And Adam Hamilton is the drummer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called Villain Press. We've recorded about 4 songs together. There's no deadline. There's not really a label or anything, but Adam is the glue.
He's the glue.
He's the glue. Yeah.
He plays drums on the last LA Guns record. He was in LA Guns as the bass player for a number of years, and of course now he's producing William Shatner records and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's got a great gig, and he's the guy because he's the greatest communicator. You know what I mean? Because everybody records remotely now.
Yeah,
and he works fast, he communicates fast, and he has great ideas on top of that, so but anyways, for Blackbird Angels, it came together. I had finished, I think Frontiers wanted another Sunbomb record, and I'm like, no, I'm not ready to do that. You know what I mean? Like that music is like, it's like committing to being in the gym for 6 months, every day, and you have to go, and like, I wasn't ready to do that. And they're like, well, but we need, we need to keep you working, I'm like, I don't need to keep working. They're like, no, we need you to keep working, kind of thing. I'm like, all right. And they're like, maybe you could do an album with Paul Shortino or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I'll think about it, and I'm just trying to avoid it. Like, I don't want to do this right now. Because I had to do this LA Guns record. And so finally, in my head, like an hour later, I'm like, oh my God, I wonder if Todd Kearns wants to finally do a record, because we had talked about it for like 8 years. And it was always like, oh yeah, we should do a record together. Yeah, cool. Yeah, right. And so before I contacted Todd, I asked the label, I go, hey, this guy Todd, he goes, oh yeah, we work with Todd sometimes. I'm like, would you be into that? And they were like, sure, so I just hit him up, and he was like, yeah, let's at least try, like, let's see what we can come up with.
Yeah.
And it was weird because the LA Guns record, Black Diamonds, I wrote that music for Todd first before I committed to the next LA Guns record.
Interesting.
And through some weird alchemy and timing issues and contract issues with Frontiers, that they wanted the LA Guns record first, it turned out. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, shit, I had just written these 11 songs for Todd. And they're like, no, blah, 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 blah. And so it was a Friday, and I had to contact everybody in LA Guns. Hey guys, here's the album. And I had to contact Mitch Davis, the guy that writes with Phil.
Right.
And so I said, there's another twist to this that's really boring, so I'm not going to bring it up. So anyways, I give the record to those guys, and I tell Frontiers, I go, don't worry, I'll write this record right now. And so the Todd record that we're talking about today, that took me about 10 days to write and record with Adam before Todd got it to start writing.
Wow. That's prolific.
So it was like, well, I was already in the groove, right? Because I had just done the LA Gun stuff.
Yeah.
And for me, if I don't write for a while, I just can't write. Wait, hold on. What the hell?
No, we still see you.
Okay. Like if I don't write for a while, nothing comes out. Nothing. And then, but when I start doing it and things start coming through, that's a good period of time where if I keep going, I can keep going.
Yeah.
And it just lined up that way. So for me, those two, like Black Diamonds and Solsorte, they're like, a double record for me, musically. And then you have Todd singing those 11 and Phil singing the other 11.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Do you think that that's common? I'm sorry, Dave. Do you think that, because I can relate to what you're saying, but I'm wondering, I've always wondered if everyone was like that. I call it juicy. When you're juicy, you can keep writing and you come up, it can be a totally different style, but you're still hearing things in your head, in the shower, in the garage, mowing the yard, and you run in and blab it into your phone or record the riff or whatever it is. Is Todd like that? Is Phil like that? Is Ace like that?
I mean, I don't really know, but it makes sense because if you understand psychology in any form, it's really easy to program your brain, right? Like from negative to positive, from positive to negative, from, this to that to the other. So I would imagine if you're practicing anything that you're focused on, that your brain prepares itself for that. You know what I mean? Like it gets in a mode psychologically. But on the other hand, I think I finished the Todd's record, trying to think when I would have finished that. I think it was finished before summer last year. I was done. So I was like, okay, don't have to write anything else for a long time. And then I had to write another Sunbomb record. I have to keep up with the workload. And I had just started going out with Ori then. And I was totally not into playing guitar. I had this new girlfriend, and she's awesome. And I'm like, hey, I got to do this record right now. And I don't have any motivation. And she just looked at me and goes, what are you talking about? Just go do it. And I went, I wrote the first 7 songs in one day. You know, so it's like, I think once you tell yourself, you know, that you have to do something that you're skilled at, you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't have the skills, you know, you're fucked.